Hey kids, it's Lindsay for our Thursday get together. Today I'm talking about something kind of personal. Today I'm talking about, hey everybody, oh my gosh, you guys are here. If you're on Instagram, hello, if you're on Instagram, you can catch me also at lindsay.tube. That will take you directly to my YouTube channel where this is streaming live and where we got some party people coming on. Today I'm going to talk about, right, now we're coming to the end of not the end, at least we can see the end of the pandemic in sight. At least I can, because I went last week and got my second COVID shot. Whoop, whoop. Now I can party. Show me the ball pit, baby. I'm on my way. I'm superhuman now. Nah, just kidding. Hey, Josh. Hey, Whitney. What is up? So I kind of, life events send you into deep thoughts. So I thought, I spent a lot of time reflecting. It has been, I don't know about you guys, but for me and the Anderson Fisher household, it has been a year, right? Ups and downs, the lack of entertainment, all like my kids, right? They're kind of high strung. I wonder where they get that from. I have no freaking idea because I'm the most calm and collected person that you'll ever meet. Hey up there. Hey, Cassandra, what's up? They're a little high strung. And they like to stay busy. They like to be outside. They like to be busy. They like to do activities. They just like to go, 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 go. And with the pandemic, my whole parenting strategy of keeping these cuties real busy kind of went the way of the toilet, which is great because it taught me a lot, actually. But I'm going to get into that today. Anyway, us being forced to work here in our house all together and homeschool. That was a thing, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to be shy to say that my relationship with my husband drastically changed. Even though we've been married and together for well over 15 years, who knew that things could change when you were forced in the house together looking at this pandemic that, I don't know, I may have grown up super duper shielded and sheltered, okay? I won't admit that I wasn't, but I always kind of just assumed that, everybody else, people have this under control. Like nothing could happen to the planet, really. Sure, we could get hit by an asteroid. We could get all these things could happen to us, but really, we've got it under the control. You know what I mean? The pandemic certainly brought into focus that we are quite seriously just sitting on the middle of a rock in the middle of outer space, and we have no idea what's going on. But that feeling and really understanding that, and again, maybe that was my childhood. Maybe you guys were not born. I was a little sheltered, okay? That this realization hit me hard during the pandemic. So on today's video, I'm going to tell you about a few lessons that I walked away from the pandemic with. I like to call it COVID blessings because, as you're going through the fire and you're experiencing trauma and you're experiencing struggles in your life, which really isn't that the human condition. Every single one of us is doing our best, trying our hardest, and just trying to be the best version of ourselves we can, right? That's really all there is to life. So I'm going to be sharing my 5 biggest pandemic lessons that I'm happy that I learned that I think will take me to living a more fulfilled and awesome life and business. So yes, this is always going to come back to business, but for me, my business, both the digital marketing side, I run an agency called the Build and Monetize Agency, where I help coaches, online coaches who want to sell more courses, programs, memberships, build their email list, host a cool, awesome webinar that actually sells some crap. That's what we do. And running ads, of course. That's what we do on the agency side. I love the agency side, but I also really, really enjoy the coaching and consulting side where I get to work with so many of you awesome and wonderful people to help you build your coaching practices. So for me, because it is a passion of mine and it is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about and dreaming about and thinking about, okay, it feeds into my life. Okay. It feeds into my life. It's something that's really, really important to me. And I take it very, very seriously. Okay. My main roles in my life are mother, wife, and business owner. And of course myself, but the roles I play there, and they all really, really shifted with the pandemic to a much, much better way. Like almost life became a lot more clear for me. Hello, I'm saying hello to a few pillow flights galore. Hey Adele, what's up? COVID blessings. Yeah, Josh, you're absolutely right. Thank you, James. I'm glad you James right here is talking about Challenge Method Profits. Feel free to check it out by going to challengemethodprofits.com. Speaking of Lindsay's paid courses and Lindsay's coaching and consulting, we were speaking of it. So I'm just going to segue into a commercial here. Hey, what's up? Next month, we are celebrating the Launch Circle birthday party. Okay, the Launch Circle, which is my membership program, which if you are an online coach, you should get your booty in there. Okay, it's a pretty inexpensive membership and there's so much stuff that you get. Go to thelaunchcircle.com to find out more. Next year, we're celebrating, not next year. Next month, we're celebrating the 1 year anniversary of the best, most awesomest membership program on the web for coaches. And you are not part of it unless you are, then hello, family member, okay? But anyway, there's going to be a bunch of really cool stuff happening over there. And my final announcement. Hi Cassandra, what's up? Hey Rose, what's up? Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of people on Instagram too, which folds into my final announcement before I get into my big aha moments of the pandemic for me. Okay, my guess is most of us did not, feel like it was just regular life and like didn't have to face ourselves at some point during the pandemic. But every single day I am uploading a brand new video over on my YouTube channel. You can easily get there by going to lindsay.tube. Okay, I'm uploading tons and tons of amazing insight videos. For example, what my morning routine is to keep my mind set where it needs to be. I do some marketing rants out there. I'm very good at marketing rants, okay? There's just a lot of really cool videos out there. I highly recommend that the next time you're a little bored and you're looking to, to improve your coaching business, just go to your browser and type in lindsay.tube. That'll direct you to my YouTube channel. And I hope to see you there, okay? Thanks for everybody who's saying they like the Launch Circle. Thank you. It is awesome. So the first thing I learned during the pandemic, and this is just like a good beauty pageant, maybe beauty pageants are in the order. When they narrow it down to the top 10, they do it in no particular order. And please do not take these lessons in any particular order. James, I like your style. James just said tubular. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the vocabulary. I need to say more. Thank you, James. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Treat yourself like a professional. What? Okay, so you're a coach, okay, and you're running this online coaching business. And I was there because we've all started from somewhere. I remember when I first started, it was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm feeling a little bit, out of sorts. And I'll just do that document later, or I'll hire that VA later, or I'll invest in my business later, because I'm not yet a real business yet, because I don't have a ton of clients. I don't have a lead generation kind of situation. And that attitude, even though my business was growing, even though I'm, a multi-six-figure business, 7-figure business, actually, last year, a 7-figure business, okay? I still kind of realized during the pandemic that I was not treating myself like a professional. What does that mean? Okay. For me, it meant self-care. And I know that is a hot word these days. For me, it meant, I do my best creative work when I am not stressed, when I time block, when I take plenty of time for me, when I create, when I'm in the mood. And I started recognizing things in my life that helped me become a creator, become more inspired, and to actually start treating myself better, to make sure that my brain, which is really the only thing that makes me stand apart from anyone else, is working top notch. So this also looks like getting 8 hours of sleep. Okay, let me put it this way. This is how clear it came to me. And I'm curious if you guys resonate with this at all. I'm just going to throw this out there because this is one of those weird thoughts in my brain. is that I kind of realized that we are humans, right? And we're no different than like our children or animals, right? We have emotions, we need sleep, we need food, we need to relax, we need to be well with ourselves, like be okay with ourselves. And, like let's say someone cuts you off, like we're just like an animal. We're going to get, our initial reaction is we're going to be super pissed off, right? We get pissed off. But when you're an adult human, I'm wondering if you guys fell into this, you're an adult human. I have this all under control. I can control my emotions if I don't eat because I have all the self-control in the world. It doesn't matter. I don't need 8 hours of sleep, even though the human body like legitimately needs a good 8 hours of sleep. I don't need that. I can get by on 6. But it really is just this system. Just like when our 4-year-old is ornery, what do? Are you hungry? Yes, no. Are you sleepy? Yes, no. Are you overstimulated? Yes, no. Unfortunately, as an adult, we're exactly the same way, even though we don't want to admit it. We want to admit I am an adult. I am in complete control. So when we talk about treating myself like a pro, getting up and walking, doing some yoga, knowing when I'm sitting at my desk, and I cannot be creative, that me sitting there for any longer staring at the computer is not going to help the situation. Getting 8 hours of sleep, doing all of those things that mama always told us, it really, really helps you, has helped me as a business owner. I'm a more creative, more pleasant, awesome person. I'm not like always trying to hustle hard, because hustling hard sucks. All right. I'm just reading some of these. I put the pros in procrastination. You guys are so funny. I'm glad you're resonating with this, okay? And hello up there on Instagram. I'm glad you guys are here too. So once you start treating yourself like a professional, giving yourself the creative time you need and doing stuff to help your creative juices, then other people will start treating you like a professional. Also, this leaks into pricing, okay? We treat our prospects. There's a YouTube video on this. We tell our prospects how we want to be treated. If we go up to our prospects and we're online and we're online acting like a coach who just got into it, who's unsure about their prices, who doesn't have confidence, who will meet with you for free for 8 hours, then what do our prospects do? They reflect that in us. But if we show up, I don't give away my time for free. I'm a professional. These are the ways that I do it. Then people and your prospects start treating you like a professional. All right. Thanks you, Ahmad. Thank you very much. So that's number one. Now the next one gets a little touchy-feely. I don't know if you want your business building coach to get all touchy-feely, but I'm going to anyway. So I learned during the pandemic a great big thing on being vulnerable, okay? Brene Brown talks a lot about it. Sometimes I was like, I don't get this whole thing, but I found during the pandemic with my children, even with my parents, with my husband, everything is kind of protected, okay? And everyone out there is just trying to do their best. No one is trying to piss you off. No one is trying to make you mad. No one's really trying to hurt your feelings. We feel all of these things, and then we start beating up on ourselves that I should be better than this. I shouldn't get my feelings hurt. Nobody else out there seems to be getting their feelings hurt over little teeny tiny things or needing all of these things. But what I found out was that everybody feels the exact same way, right? Are you guys just trying to do your best? Are you guys waking up every day and you want to make it the best day you can? And everyone actually just feels that way. And so when we start recognizing that people are just like us, and we start being more vulnerable, and we're like, well, if Ian, that's my husband, he shows up all dressed real nice, okay? Then I'm going to tell him, honey, you look super smoking today. Why? Because first of all, he wants to hear it, even though he knows it, because I tell him that 25,000 times a day, he still wants to hear it on repeat. Even if in my head, I'm like, he of course knows that, right? Or, my 4-year-old, he is learning math. And so he walks around 5 plus 4 is 9. 10 plus 10 is 20. And it's like, that's great. And so pull him aside and be like, dude, the fact you're doing math blows my mind. So what I have learned and what has made my relationships closer in the pandemic is that anything that comes to my mind, even if I'm like, they don't want to hear that, or they're going to push me away, or whatever, I'm just going to say it. And my relationships have become so much more fulfilling that way because I'm willing to me, it was stepping outside of my comfort zone of like being all protected with my feelings. And, if I tell Ian he looks good and he kind of smirks or something at me, well, I'm not going to tell him that anymore. No, I'm just going to spread the love. And if people don't return it, that's fine. At least I'm trying to make a better day, because you always have to remember that everyone is just trying to do their best. Everyone has these same exact feelings that you do. Everyone is struggling with something. And we want to treat people like that accordingly, okay? Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you. Ahmad says he just started following me last month. Thank you. So that was it. So that's it. Don't assume people know. Everyone's just trying to do their best. Let's treat people accordingly, okay? Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you guys are liking this. And then my final thing is this, okay? I don't want to keep you guys too long. COVID goggles, James, yes, is reality. This one's crazy, okay? Reality is really, and I know, like, I logically knew this, but it really came into view during the pandemic, which is, thanks for all the hearts up there, you guys. Reality is based on your perception. Like, really, all we know is how, kind of how we grew up in our beliefs and what we see through our unique goggles. So the reason why this really came into focus is because Ian and I'll be honest, we have had some pretty amazing highs in our marriage during the pandemic, but they have certainly swung clear over to the other side to having some of the biggest struggles and stuff in our marriage during the pandemic. And part of this problem has been when we are fighting, okay, I will be like, dude, you said XYZ to me. And this is how this situation that we're fighting about panned out. And Ian will be like, well, no, that's not at all what happened. In fact, this is what happened. Okay. And if we can step away from both of us being super pissed at each other and fighting, and we can actually come together later to understand, well, this was my perspective and this was my perspective. Guess what we find out, people, is that both perspectives are right. And for a while there, okay, it's like, oh, yeah, that's totally what happened when you're looking at it from Ian's point of view. But over here, it's totally what happened looking from Lindsay's point of view. And the same can go for employees. The same just goes for life, that almost I am just like, well, this is my perception of the situation. I kind of stopped trusting like what the facts are. All I know is my perception of things and how it made me feel and how it made me act. And like, that's the only truth there is. So if we wrap that into a bigger business building lesson, okay, if you're sitting there and your perception is, I am not succeeding, I should only charge very little amounts, I will never make it, all these things. That's why the think, let's see, there's a triangle. It's the think, act, feel triangle, okay? My kids learned it in this emotional wellness class I put them in. The think, hold on one second, hold on. This is my show. I actually can take the time to find this think, because I think it's in a children's book, but I actually think adults need it too, because I was like, I wish someone would have told me that when I was young, okay? Here we go. This is in the little book that I set up for them, okay? You'll see, think, feel, behave. Dude, it's for real, even for adults, okay? The way I think makes me feel a certain way, and the way I feel makes me behave a certain way, and it's an endless cycle, okay? Yeah, that's why positive mantras work. That's why meditation works. That's why positive thinking works, is because this is legit, even though it's in a kid's book. And it can go with your business. If you're seriously being like, my business is struggling, this totally sucks, I'm never going to make it, then you're going to start feeling that way, and then you're going to behave accordingly. And this rolls right back into point number 1, which was, when you treat yourself like a professional, then you'll start thinking like a professional, you'll start behaving like a professional, and the rest is magic. You can actually take these lessons and become anything that you want to be. Make your business anything you want to be. Become any kind of person you want to be. And the sky is the freaking limit. So I learned, hey, Allison, I'm so glad you're here. Think, feel, behave. Okay. Have you guys heard of this? James, cognitive behavioral therapy. Yes, that is correct. Yes. It just came into clarity for me. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of mindfulness, being present in the moment. And this is like a muscle that you work out a lot, right? It's like you do reps. When you find yourself looking in the past, you do a rep, bring yourself back to the present. When you find yourself worried about the future, come back, bring yourself to the present, because friends, the present is quite literally all we have. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and all that worry could be for naught. Now, I know you know that logically, but when you start putting into your daily life, mindfulness, being present, for me, has added so much peace, has allowed me to enjoy every day a little bit more. And really, isn't that what it's about? Is we have this moment, let's try to make it as sweet as possible. I'll just finish here, okay? I'll finish here. I used to, with flowers. I'm finishing with flowers, okay? I used to tell Ian pre-pandemic, I have a piece of hair in my mouth, and I really wanted to finish without hair in my mouth. Okay, well, that's not going to work. So here's the big finish. My big lesson with flowers at the end of this is this. Pre-pandemic, Ian wouldn't buy me flowers. You guys are going to think that I am just the most, hate-filled person when I say this. I'll be like, don't buy me flowers. They just die in 2 weeks. What's the point? Oh, right? But since the pandemic, and since I've started embracing this idea that all we have is this moment, so let's do what we can to make this moment the best moment ever, I've started buying my own flowers. Why? Hopefully I can talk Ian into start buying me flowers soon. I've trained him too long, because every time I look at these flowers, it brings a smile to my face. And suddenly that moment is even just a little teeny tiny smidgen better than it would have been, because flowers make you smile. So I'm always carrying around flowers, and I really try to make every moment just better than it could be, because that's really all we have. Okay? Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too much. I hope you guys enjoyed these lessons. I would very much love to hear what your insights and your personal experience with the pandemic has been. Has it been as transformational for you guys as it has been for me, just on a personal level? And I think a lot of that comes because we spent the pandemic kind of being forced to be alone and figure out what we want and not being in control of what we want. And so then I turned inside to say, okay, what can I find in here? You know what I mean? Okay. Rose says, every school child should be taught this present moment. You are a gift present of your soul. Thank you, Rose. Also something, yeah, I'll change that later. I'll mention that later. Rose can teach you a lot of stuff. I'll just mention that. All right. I am live every single Thursday at this time. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next time, but if you liked this, you're going to love my YouTube channel. Go to lindsay.tube, subscribe. I'm uploading almost every day, and there's a lot of really great videos out there. Okay? So I'll see you on the channel, and I'll see you next Thursday. My friends, thank you for joining me. Awesome, James. That's awesome. All right, kids.